talk about today are two things. I thought we'd revisit Skool, what Skool are doing that's pretty cool, and AI just broke the internet and maybe reality too.
See, I can't tell at this point. That looks like a real video to me.
With Google's Veo 3, anyone can now generate ultra-realistic videos with nothing but text.
Unless someone pointed it out, you probably wouldn't know.
I think we're not very far away from having a film being made, but it's all AI generated with a bit of storyline. Do we care? If we're watching a movie that's just as good.
How much more advanced can it get at this point?
In the last 2 months, we've had 3 people come from Skool who've signed up as consultancy clients. We're probably up, what, 1,500 quid?
I think whatever your business is, you could probably make a group in Skool. You don't need a lot of people to convert from the free members to actually make money.
Hello, welcome back to The Fake Marketer, everybody, with your host, Nick Boddington.
Your permanent host.
Your permanent host. New host, Nick Boddington, and Michael Harris.
Correct.
I knew your name. I was just doing it slowly. James not here again.
He was here, and then
I know, we've been with him today.
We were like, oh, do you want to do the podcast? He was like, no.
He's buggered off. He is still interested in doing the podcast, because I did ask that question.
Is he just given up with it?
But he seems to have other things to go on with.
I think they're like, the more Rupert does well, the like he forgets his roots of where he started.
Yeah.
On this podcast.
Yeah, well, you know. So, to talk about today are two things. I thought we'd revisit Skool, because you've actually forgotten to ask me how many members we've got.
Go back
doing that.
Go back to Skool.
Go back to Skool, how that's going, and what Skool are doing that's pretty cool. But I thought the first part is what I've just been texted by someone. Its headline is, AI is broke. AI just broke the internet and maybe reality too. With Google's Veo 3, anyone can now generate ultra-realistic videos with nothing but text. No crew, no camera, no skills, just $250 and a few prompts. For creators, it's game-changing. For everyone else, kind of terrifying. Do you want to get it up there?
I have seen some people on TikTok and stuff. They've been uploading videos that have been made with the VO thing, but it's hard to know if they are actually real or not. It's one of those things where...
What, you mean they've actually got... It's real footage for the advert to make you think that it's not real?
Well, we don't know. Like, they upload the video saying this is from Google's thing, but I can't tell if it's AI or not. And all the comments are like, I don't actually know if this is...
Boomers will believe anything I say.
I will sell you everything.
Every business will use me. Evil will abuse me.
I can be whoever you want me to be.
I am as real as you make me.
I'm just words some guy is typing to get a point across.
The old internet is dead. Oh!
I am your new best friend.
How mad's that?
Yeah, it's really weird.
If that's AI generated, like, you know how Netflix was having like people outside protesters because AI were taking over script writing.
Yeah.
Least of their problems.
Literally.
Least of their problems. You could literally, they can just start creating new AI characters, and those will be movie stars.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one I saw. I still don't actually know if this is real.
Is it crazy that we're just prompts?
What?
Is it crazy that we're just prompts?
No, not really.
See, I can't tell at this point. That looks like a real video to me,
Yeah,
but then obviously people have been like, oh, it's definitely not AI, but now I don't even know. Because I've seen other videos that people have put up where they're like...
I think the difference is because the one we just watched that I found was looking like they're movies, didn't it? The way it's filmed and the colouring. But that one looks like it's just off someone's camera and I think someone's taking the mickey.
But that's what I mean. Like, now it's got to the point where now I can't actually tell. Like, before you used to be able to look a bit and be like, oh, I get it. But
well, we're not going to know unless we get that for $250
or unless it says AI generated in it. But
it said that AI generated in that one I watched, that Instagram one. It says AI generated.
But obviously, it's whether they have to put, because people could just upload it and not.
Well, no.
Say
So Meta now, it's AI, figures out AI, and it automatically says it's AI and uploads it onto things to say this is AI generated.
Hopefully. Because the minutes they find a way to get around that.
It's crazy. I think we're not very far away from having short or a film being made. Like, even if I think it'll be something that comes out which will be like short film. Let's say it's 10 minutes long, but it's all AI generated with a bit of storyline. Because I don't think unless anyone goes into the whole effort of making a 2 hour long film, I don't know. But like, I just don't know. Actors there won't be any such thing, will there? Because if we're watching a film, okay, so the thing that attracts us to the cinema or watching a movie is probably the main actors in that, yeah, who make it a box office hit. But if they AI generate a new Jason Bourne, but not Jason Bourne, I'm just talking about an actor, a character's name, or no, a real life actor, Tom Cruise, is now an AI generated version of someone similar who's now in not every movie, but in some movies. Do we care? If we're watching a movie that's just as good and it looks no different to Mission Impossible, do you and I at home watching Netflix care if that's being generated by AI or not, or do we care about the entertainment?
That's the thing, isn't it? There'll be people who'll be like against it because they'll obviously want like real people in it and stuff.
There's not going to be any Oscars or anything left, is there? Because it'll be like they can all act as well as they need to act. It won't be like, oh, that was an amazing performance. It can just be an amazing performance if it wants to be. Yes. I don't know. I think we're not far off some short films that people are going to start doing just to see what it's like. We're probably a bit further off from having something with classes. But I mean, look, Netflix. In the last, 10 years, Netflix went from, I know it's older than that, but let's say the last 10 years, 15 years, it's gone from, I remember when Netflix came out. Do you?
When
do you have the whole story of Netflix? Do you remember Love Film?
Yeah, where you got it through your post box.
Yeah. So Amazon bought Love Film. Netflix got approached by Amazon. They turned it down. Love Film then went from, in America, it was the same thing. Netflix was CDs in the post.
They post them to you.
Yeah, and now it's obviously the way it is. But when Netflix first came out, I think it was like $4.99, but it was all old movies. It was just
wasn't like the new stuff.
You've seen everything before.
Yeah.
But it was perfect for when you've got kids because you would go, for $4.99 a month, I've got loads of cartoons, the Goonies, all this sort of stuff, and my kids are happy, and I can just stream it. Yeah, so it's really cool. But it wasn't very long before I was starting to get a bit bored of it and go, there's nothing new coming here. And then you have like recently new releases. You'd be like, yeah, I've seen all those. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then obviously it started making more money. The awards, I think there was something I read, and I think it's factual, but like how many awards are being presented to Netflix? And it's like, oh yeah, the newest movie, like Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Netflix and Amazon are starting. Oh, Amazon, and now the big actors are going to Netflix movies.
Yeah, they're doing like Netflix originals and Apple originals.
Paramount is now part of Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So if we've seen all that happen, that would have been like, no way. Big act. What? Tom Cruise is going to go to? Well, I don't know if he's done one, but other
I know what
actors,
you mean. Yeah.
Well, they're going to go and just do like a Netflix movie. Nah, they're not going to do that. They're going to blah blah. They are. Because it's a huge bloody paycheck, so they're off. See what I mean?
I think people will definitely try it. I can't see it like, I can see it existing. I can't see it overtaking like everything else. I think.
No, I don't think we will. But
I think they'll
like
be
electric vehicles.
Yeah, there'll be people who'll probably like go, oh look, this is like a experiment type thing where I want to like see how good I can make it look, but I can't think it's going to replace all of the films and stuff. But I suppose it's just like anything, you don't really know until... And obviously, if it keeps getting better, it's like, unless they disclose it, you probably won't know anyway. If they were like, oh, by the way, that scene was like, had AI in it, unless someone pointed it out, you probably wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Because I saw there was on a similar topic, there was a Netflix, like one of these like crime, murder, mystery type true crime documentaries. I think it was called What Jennifer Did. It was about this young girl who like her parents are really strict and she kills them. It's like a real story. But they had as part of that, there was some like controversy that came out around it because in one of the episodes, they AI generated some images of her that didn't exist. So like they made these images of her like at like parties with her friends, the girl who like did the murder, but those photos weren't ever real. And I was like, that's pretty.
How did you know that though?
I can't remember if I read it somewhere or if it said it in the credits or it was somewhere where I saw it.
That's annoyed you that something.
Well, yeah, because it's like they've done it from a perspective to be like, look, here's her being happy with her friends. And it's like, if you're trying to do a documentary saying like, here's the truth about what happened, and you've then gone, oh, we don't have these images of her with her mates, but we'll just put some in. It's like, I don't know, it feels a bit weird doing that, because then it's a bit like now you're doing that to change what the story actually was type thing. Yeah, so that was a bit weird, but in terms of like whole actual things, yeah, I think it'll definitely happen. It's just how good and when, I suppose. Yeah,
no, fair enough. Okay, so that's AI taking even more of the world now, which is, I've got nothing against it, to be fair. I think AI is great.
I think I'm more intrigued from just what are they going to do type perspective. Like I'm not sort of hooray and I'm not sort of like boo. I'm more just kind of like how much more advanced can it get at this point? Because you see stuff and you're like, oh, well, now it's kind of getting to the point where it looks kind of as good as it looks, and then there'll suddenly be another thing and you'll be like, oh, now it's even better, and it will just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, that's all good. Skool. How many users do you think I've got now? How many users, do you remember how many users it was?
It was like the last time I probably remember was like 120 something.
Okay. It is now, drum roll. I'm trying to find it. 180.
Oh, nice. I wasn't sure like how much you were still doing with Skool, which is probably why I didn't mention it. I mean, I figured you were, but like...
Well, this is 180 and I haven't really been doing much with it. So people are still coming in there, there's still content, etc. But now it's like really started speeding up. Liv's back in my team now. It means that we're actually properly doing something with it.
Mm-hmm. Is that your plan to do more with it now?
Yeah. So now we've got like an actual calendar of stuff we do. Just before this, I did what's called a drop-in clinic, which is people turn up to a call.
Yeah, I remember I edited one of those before.
So we're doing that again.
They're quite good though.
But it's really good. But the reason I thought I wanted to just talk about this is because I just actually watched a video by the owners of Skool on what things are coming through. And there's one of them which is a brilliant game changer. So just to give everyone what Skool is. Skool is a community that's been grown by a guy called, a platform that's been started off by a guy called Sam Evans, who was essentially a consulting expert in groups. You know, the ones who, hey, join my community and pay me £99 a month and learn this. And he's a successful guy, but he wanted something. I read that he started Skool, probably wasn't called Skool, at the time for something for his own group to use that he could actually use. So he built a bit of software that did what he wanted to do.
Oh, it's a bit like with Rupert, I suppose, where James wanted a thing for us and then it became a thing.
So that's what Skool is. People can then it's all broken down. So people can join all these different communities. So Ads Clinic community is a free community where you go in there and there's a classroom, there's different classes, and then there's a community and people communicate to each other, and it's really cool. But when I do like a drop-in clinic, or I do like a fortnightly live, a monthly webinar live and stuff that's going to come through, you actually have to take everything out of platform. So you have to, like most things you do, don't you?
You can't do it inside of Skool.
No. So it's the same as like LinkedIn, go live on LinkedIn. But you've got to have something linked up to LinkedIn. And then you've got to use Zoom, and then Zoom's got to link to this other third-party
it's not
platform.
Just inside.
And it's like, wouldn't you launch the facility of go live? It's getting really popular.
Just click it and then it's...
Just make it easy for the user. Mm-hmm. Skool have done that. So Skool in June, July, haven't given a launch date, and this is something that actually...
Where did you find this? Did they email you, or was this just you found it online?
No, you get like the notifications of just updates.
Oh, okay.
Is basically... My drop-in clinic is an event. So you set up an event on Skool. Now in Skool, on the event will be Thursday, the 28th, 29th, whatever it is, and there's a Zoom link. Now or soon, there won't be a Zoom link. You'll just go live, and your screen will become what we see as Zoom. It'll be the same thing. So it's a native video, whatever the word is.
Just native video.
Native video inside those things, which means I could do that when I do monthly webinars. You can have, hey, join my webinar, blah, 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 blah. You could probably still get people opting in or whatever. I don't know how that will work. And then it just goes live, which is really cool. It also uses the same usernames as the people who are in Skool. So you'll start getting used to,
seeing the same people, yeah.
Which is really cool. They're also bringing out another thing that's cool. So at the moment, my ads clinic is free. So the idea of my ads clinic, and the ads clinic is, for anyone who doesn't know, is you've got the Skool, which is like the basic level. So you've got Skool ads clinic, and then you've got consulting. And you've got consulting where people then go on to a one-to-one with me or the team, and it's either 2 hours a month or 4 hours a month. But we're trying to figure something in between, because I know a lot of people in Skool can't afford to just have, and it's the free content, which is great. I want them to learn as much as they can about it. But then I want that second option, which is like, what more can they get out of it? And I've thought thinking maybe group calls, which this again works great for it, because then what you do is you could go into the classroom and you can blank off certain classrooms, and it will have something across it saying tier 2, £39.
So then you can just do it with just that classroom of people.
So once they enter that and they pay for it, that becomes active to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see it. So what happens at Skool at the moment, if you wanted a free Skool, so the ads clinic free, and then I wanted a paid version, not forget the consultancy, but a paid version of more content but a different type, I'd have to actually have 2 schools. Two Skool accounts.
Like a separate one.
Yeah, so what they've realised now that usability is not great. And bear in mind, it's only 2 years old. So it's like a new piece of software, is that it's going to be called a freemium. You have a freemium one. So you can actually have free people in your school and a premium service, but it's all still as one. And then you'll see after, you'll say someone's name and they might say paid, or, they're in premium or something.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really, really good idea, because it's actually really quite exciting how I'm getting leads from. So I'm advertising my leads. Some people find me on Skool, other people from the podcast. I've had a few come from the podcast actually recently. And then I've got ads running. I'm getting leads for like less than £5. I'm getting leads. I'm getting new members for less than £5. So it's like,
Are you doing it for people to join the school?
Join the school, yeah.
Okay.
And they're good. So what I need to do now is really utilize how I want to have a free service. I don't want to be like others where I want it to be a freemium, but I want them to have a lot of content. When I've investigated other ones, and even ones that I've been interested to learn from for my own things, not Facebook, but other things, I've gone on there and I get a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, for anyone you've got to pay. I'm like, so I get it. Everyone needs, it's all fine while this is that size. But imagine I suddenly have 3,000 people. And bear in mind, I'm not spending loads on ads and I'm already getting like 60 a month, right? So in a year's time, by just putting some money into it, more money, if I spent £50 a day, I could get to 3,000 quite quickly. Now, then you've got to start thinking, well, you don't know how many questions and back and forth are going to come from the community. Mm-hmm. You've got to have certain admins. At the moment, it's only me and Liv running this. We're obviously busy with other stuff, actual calls with clients. So it's like, okay, well, how do you monetize this? So, see what I mean? So it's the little things. So in a way, we're sort of giving ourselves like 3-month blocks. So at the moment, it's like, right, how can we strategize and make Skool look really good in it? So it's, at the moment, it's all a bit higgledy-piggledy. It's like all how-to videos, and they're all a bit, are you advanced? Are you beginner? No one really knows. So I'm going to create it into like some different sections. Start here, beginners, how to do this or that, and give loads of. Because there's nothing really out there that actually truly for free helps people actually build ads. Mm-hmm. Now, I know from our client base, whether you can build an ad or not doesn't mean you can make it successful. Mm-hmm. So that's where the one-to-one consulting comes in. And then for people who can't afford, £600 a month for the one-to-one consulting, which, can be expensive, it might be like a £99 a month, which gives you one group session a week. And then on that group session, let's say it's an hour, you can only have 5 people, you get 15 minutes each, if that math's right, yeah. No, 4 people, 15 minutes each. And maybe there's more of those sessions, there's one every day. Or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it's trying to work out like how much you give for what amount and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's just like a funnel, I suppose, isn't it? Where it's like you're kind of taking.
It's actually called a value ladder. So it is called a funnel, but it's a funnel,
I get what you
it's
mean,
a value ladder.
It's like free, then into slightly more. Yeah.
Dentists are the same. Come in for your free checkup, or you need a filling, 150 quid. Oh, well, teeth whitening, 350 quid.
Yeah.
Or you need a crown, 700 quid. You've gone in for a free checkup and a bit of a hygiene clean, which doesn't cost them anything, just a bit of time. A year later, you remember, and you dropped $1,000 on getting your teeth sorted. So that's how that works. So yeah, really exciting. Yeah, I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see how it, not just the platform evolves, but I suppose your school and other people's schools, like how they utilise it.
Yeah.
And I think the more features they add, people will work out.
Well, in the last 2 months, we've had 3 people come from school who've signed up as consultancy clients. So it's generated revenue. Let's say, how long have I had school? 6 months. Is it 6 months, probably on and off?
Not sure.
Maybe not even that. Maybe it's just after Christmas, I think, wasn't it? We're in June now. Maybe it is 6. No.
Oh, I joined January the 15th. And
Okay.
I think I joined on the podcast because you asked me to.
Right, so it's 5 months. So it's 99 quid a month. That's 500 quid. One of the clients pays 600 quid a month, and they're on this 3rd month. So that's 1,800. I reckon it's done 2.5 to 3,000 off ads coming in, which I wouldn't have spent that much, and the cost of having school, which is now, let's say, 500, about to go into 600 quid. We're up. We're probably up 1,500 quid on a platform where
It's mad, isn't it?
I'm not really doing anything. Yes, it will. The more members, it wants to get monitored and stuff like that. But it's pretty mad how and there's so many different school communities on here of just the most random stuff. One of them's really, really successful. Is like how to. Well, there's one actually which got, when I was watching their video earlier, they were showcasing like 5 school groups that really like, and they looked about us. There's stuff that helps me go, okay, I need to do that, because they're successful ones. One of them's like called the Poop Scoop Millionaire, and it's poop scoop businesses. I don't really know how to do it, but they're making a fortune out of people. It's like must be some kind of franchise. I don't really understand how it works, but
Yeah, because there's loads of different things. I've not really like explored it a lot, but I remember we did one of the In the Comments podcast with Alex Morris from Lunaire, who was, you remember we said there was that girl who just started ads and like the ads were spending more.
Yeah.
She's doing really well now. She's like, I think she's like top 5 or top 10 like UK podcasts for like health or something. Like,
oh really?
She's working with Taylor, from Waffle Shop. Is it Taylor?
What, and he's helped to get that high?
I think she's like been recording a podcast as part of their like little group or something like that. I don't fully know how it works, but
well, I reached out to Taylor actually to help, because obviously our podcast is there and it's doing well, but I want it to do even better. I reached out to him to actually figure out how he might be able to help.
Yeah, but I remember when we did the podcast with her, we mentioned Skool, and then we said like, oh, like you could make a school group because all her stuff's still to do with like female health and that sort of thing. And we looked and there was like female health groups in like Skool, and there's loads of stuff.
Well, there's quite a few Facebook ads in there, but it's just,
Yeah, she's currently top 10 in alternative health. So she's doing well. She's getting a lot of like guests on and stuff talking about things, but yeah, I remember her talking about when we did the podcast with her, she was like, oh, I'm just about to start a podcast. So I think being with that Taylor guy's really helped. But
that's brilliant.
Yeah, so I think loads of people can use it. I'm sure there's 1,000 different, I think whatever your business is, you could probably make a group in Skool.
You could.
And as you've shown with yours, you don't need a lot of people to convert from the free members to actually make money. Because if someone came across your school and was like, oh, who's this guy? He's only got 180 people in his school. They might be like, oh, it's sort of, he's only just starting out or what sort of thing. But if you say you've already had so many of those, go over to start paying a lot.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly, Marcus. So it's at what point, if I really wanted to monetize it and then I go, actually, there's a lot, because it might be that it's like, okay, a lot of work starting to go into this, not just recording videos, but it's like, okay, I need some, depending on what the conversion rate is into the consultancy. If I go, right, for every 30 people that join Skool, one turns into a paying client, then I might go, actually, that conversion rate's okay.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'm going to carry on putting my time into keeping Skool updated and stuff like that because it's working. If I find that no one's converting, then I need to actually monetize Skool to get some more, to get money out of the other people. Because I kind of like, look, I don't want to charge you, but I also don't want to work, I can't work for free.
Yeah.
So I need to say to you, you need to pay me something, even if it's 20 quid a month or whatever, just to get this knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know how it works with Skool, whether it's similar to other platforms. I know there's platforms like Patreon and stuff like that where they have like tiers of things where it's like, oh, if you pay £5 a month, you get the very basic stuff. And then if you pay this amount a month, you get that basic stuff plus this. And then there's the next one.
Yeah. But it might be I get to 1,000 users and then you look like you've got lots of things and then you might just go, it's all now paid.
Yeah.
It might be that 1,000 users, actually a lot of time goes into it and I might need to monetize it. I think I'd like to monetize it before. I think I still want to give, I think the free groups is a way. So it's like, but then it's weird because I have a drop-in clinic and I don't have loads of people coming onto the drop-in clinic. Maybe drop-in clinic is not right. They don't know what that means. I don't know. Maybe I need to introduce it. I don't know. This is all stuff for food for thought as I'm going through it, just to go, you're just watching what people are doing, you see, and you're going, okay, how can I make people do what I want them to do?
Yeah, I think there'll always be a certain amount of, with any sort of those communities, there'll always be like a load more people who are signed up than will actually do anything.
Well, so a group that I joined, which was how to grow your community successfully and how to monetize it, which I'm a member of. I'm not paying them; they actually want $5,000 for me to to actually. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that yet. But they were saying that they kick, if you haven't been active for 14 days, they kick you out. So
to sort of encourage people.
Because why do you want the ones who are just not doing anything?
I think it just kind of happens with most. Just like when you see YouTube channels and they've got like 1 million subscribers, but then they get 50,000 views. It's like there's always like a amount of people.
There's an Facebook ads one now. There's a guy Facebook ads called Ben Heath. He's got a Skool group. He's doing very well for himself. He's got 300,000 people. So fair play to him. There's another guy who I've done a podcast with, and I won't say any names, but he's based in Greece. And he was like low volume subscribers, like me, but he was putting attention into it. Like, you just put my videos up onto YouTube. You are doing that with the new one.
Yeah.
And we don't do anything with it, do we? So it's just like, they're just there. He was still doing stuff with it. And I went onto his account and I was like, he's got like 200,000 subscribers. And I was like, how the hell has he got that many that quickly? And then I started looking at his videos, and his video views are like 900, 700. And I'm like, he's blagged that, hasn't he? He's had.
It could have been, or it could be that he used to be really successful.
No. It's gone.
It's always been that.
He's now zoomed up.
Yeah, it could have done.
He's done something to get subscribers, but those subscribers aren't engaging subscribers.
Could have been a bot job.
Yeah, I think it is. So, but that's...
I know there's some people will have it where like they become really successful and loads of people subscribe, and then like years later they're still doing it, and now nobody really cares.
Yes, yeah, I knew someone in the fitness world who did that actually. They were massive, and then no one really followed them anymore, or viewed them anymore. So yeah, it's all good, but it's, all exciting. Anything from you?
Have you got any ads that you've seen?
Have I got any ads I've seen? Not enough for me to. Only really the ad that I've got is the one I started this podcast off with, which was that
the Google
about the
one.
Veo.
Yeah,
Even though it wasn't an ad, it had caught my attention.
Yeah, I was in London over the bank holiday.
No.
seen one of my girlfriend's friends down there. She's had a baby and she's pregnant again.
A baby?
A baby.
You call it? You don't call it?
I don't call it baby. No.
Do a lot of people call it?
No, we're not like that Brummy that.
Yeah.
We're not from like Wolverhampton or anything.
Is that where it is? It's like
Wolverhampton is the people that all like
yeah. Babbo.
Yeah, basically. But I was on the underground, which is always depressing and hot and miserable. But I was looking, because I was sitting there, I was looking at all the, they have like the ads up on the underground. There's a bit where you go down the escalators as well.
A lot of people look at those ads.
Where every time I go down those escalators, I always think, how much have they paid for these ads? Because they must pay an absolute fortune.
And some of them have loads of the same ad, don't they?
Yeah, they had one where I think it was like, is it like Octopus Energy or whatever that energy? Yeah. And like, it was like one where it was like a continuous one where it was moving across all the different...
the octopus is swimming up the
Yeah. And I was like, wow, they must have paid a lot for these. But I saw a little one on the top when we were there. Gusto, shout out. So I was just looking at it and I was like, oh, there's quite a clever thing they've done here. It sounds obvious, but they've just put a little thing where it's like, get 50% off your first box with the code TUBE. And I'm like, that's simple for them to do, but I was thinking, now I think of it, like most of the time you see a code, but you don't see it for like specifically where you are.
So that code, they've done that for attribution.
So they'll
be able to look at their back end and go, if they haven't had any people signing up for 50% off, and they'll be looking for how many people, how much the campaign cost, and how many people signed up using the word TUBE, and that will give them a return on investment.
Yeah, I just thought it was a clever, it's sort of clever from their perspective because they can directly attribute it more than just like a Spring 50 or something or whatever. I just thought also when a lot of people are, sitting there, because we were on it for like, 15 minutes. Like I'm not really going to look on my phone or whatever. I was just sitting there. So I was just looking around and I was like, oh, that if I didn't know or I was interested, I'd be like, oh, I'm on the tube. That's like a clever thing. I'll either take a picture of it or I could do it on my phone while I'm here. And it's just
absolutely. So one of the things that going off that when let's talk about recycling. So there's a little egg box next to that Gusto box.
This one?
Yeah, 1 egg's in that.
So they just send you a thing with 1 egg in it?
1 egg in it, and that's to protect the egg. So think about the morons in this country that don't recycle. Can't be asked.
Yeah.
Not my problem. I don't see what happens afterwards. I'm a bit of a bug, but I recycle everything. I'll wash the jars out, wash the milk. We're the same. I bet there's millions of people who just throw that in the normal bin, and it goes to landfill.
It's poor, isn't it?
So I'm not happy. There must be another way from. I don't know how you way around this.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it, with stuff like that? Because you need to package it somehow, but you also don't want to waste a load of stuff. But yeah, I thought it was quite good from Gusto. So shout out to them. I didn't do it, but I took a picture of it. So one day I don't know if it says when it ends, if it's a subscription service discount to new customers. No.
Yeah, good, nice, Michael. Well,
there you go.
There we go. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
James may or may not be back next week.
Yeah, probably us again.
It's like just every week you have to tune in and find out.
Exactly.
Which bald man will it be?
When will he be back? But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Thank you, Michael. And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.